Every day, we see the darker side of the world around us. We witness how people can hurt others in ways that are hard to understand. It's a sad part of life, but it's something we can't ignore. As someone who dives into the world of crime, I'm here to share the most shocking stories and try to understand what drives people to do such things. I'm Michael, and today, I've got another unreal true crime story for you. It was just another quiet afternoon in a Michigan mobile home park until a 911 call changed everything. Inside one of the homes, paramedics found 6-year-old Giovanni Jennings lying unresponsive. His tiny body was covered in bruises, and something was terribly wrong. As investigators dug deeper into what happened, they discovered a heartbreaking story of abuse and pain that no child should ever endure. Who let this happen? And why didn't anyone step in to help him before it was too late? This is the story of a little boy who deserved a safe and loving home, and the fight to bring those responsible to justice. On October 17, 2017, Giovanni Jennings was born in Detroit, Michigan, to his mother, Elena Jennings. Giovanni, affectionately called Chula by his family, a term meaning cute or cool, was a lively child with big brown eyes, long lashes, and a bright smile that revealed adorable dimples on both cheeks. Elena often referred to him as "little man," calling him her handsome baby boy. From an early age, Giovanni displayed an independent and playful spirit. Even before he could walk, he entertained his family by making silly faces and sticking out his tongue when Elena tried to take pictures. As he grew, his personality blossomed. A memorable photo from when he was just 10 months old showed him filling up a baby pool with a garden hose on a hot day. Elena captioned it proudly, "Little man is already filling up his pool without mama's help. He sure is too big for 10 months." His family described him as an amazing child who loved to run and play. In a heartwarming video, they captured Giovanni and his brother laughing as they attempted to repeat words like taco, chimichanga, and chalupa. Their giggles and the happiness shared between them painted a picture of a joyful family life. Elena, who became a mother at 18, often reflected on her journey in heartfelt social media posts. In June 2017, she shared how she had worked hard to turn her life around, crediting her brother for helping her escape a difficult past. She wrote about embracing her role as a mother and focusing on creating a better future for her children. By 2019, Elena had welcomed another son, and photos from 2020 showed Giovanni as a loving older brother, cuddling and playing with him. Despite facing challenges, Elena remained committed to being a dedicated mother, often sharing her pride and love for her children. In the years that followed, Elena began a relationship with Esteban, and the family moved into a home in southwest Detroit. Esteban treated Giovanni and his brother like his own sons, and the couple eventually had a daughter together in 2022. However, their relationship became strained over time, and in March 2024, Elena moved out with her children. Shortly after, Elena entered a relationship with Daniel Giacchina. Daniel had faced his own struggles, including legal troubles and personal hardships. In late 2023, he, Elena, her 3 children, and his grandmother Anne experienced a devastating house fire that left them homeless. Anne sought help through a GoFundMe campaign, writing, "My name is Anne. I'm 74 and this devastates me. Our house burned down 2 weeks ago and we had no rental insurance. We're having such a hard time keeping a roof over our heads, paying for the motel and supporting the animals we rescued from the fire, one of whom gave birth to puppies shortly after the incident. It's so cold and we've lost everything. Any donations would mean the world to us. God bless you all. I know there's a light at the end of this tunnel. Despite her plea, donations were scarce. They managed to raise only $275, far from enough to cover even a week at the motel, which charged $350 weekly. Daniel tried to negotiate with the motel owner, but the situation remained tense. A series of texts from the owner highlighted his frustration, emphasizing the need for timely payments and compliance with motel rules. The owner's patience was wearing thin, and Daniel's updates on the campaign reflected growing desperation. Sometime after, Elena ended their relationship. She found housing for herself and the kids, leaving Daniel and Anne behind. In an emotional update, Daniel shared his heartbreak. When this all started, it was our whole family, me, my partner, her kids, and my grandmother. After the fire, Elena moved on, found a house, and left me and Grandma here. I feel used. We were planning a future, starting businesses and talking about marriage. Now I've lost the woman I loved, her kids, and everything else. The challenges of homelessness weighed heavily on both Daniel and Anne. Despite their circumstances, Daniel's posts also shed light on the broader crisis of homelessness, acknowledging how close many people are to losing their homes due to unforeseen events like fires or financial setbacks. Eventually, Anne and Daniel were able to secure housing at the ACL Mobile Home Park on DeQuindra Road in southeast Michigan. Months later, Elena and her children moved into the mobile home with them, attempting to rebuild their lives together. However, tensions began to rise and Giovanni, one of Elena's children, reportedly struggled to adjust. Family dynamics became strained, and disciplinary measures were sometimes taken when Giovanni misbehaved. When asked about the treatment Giovanni received, Elena initially claimed it was disciplinary, a method she and Daniel referred to as the corner. The corner wasn't just a spot for a typical timeout. In their shared bedroom, they set aside an area specifically for punishing Giovanni. They barricaded him in with makeshift walls and covered the space with a black curtain, effectively isolating him from the rest of the room. To monitor him, Daniel allegedly installed a security camera aimed directly at the corner, allowing him and Elena to watch the child remotely through their phones. This punishment went far beyond standard discipline. While a typical timeout might last a minute per year of age, 6 minutes for a 6-year-old like Giovanni, evidence revealed he was confined for far longer. He was forced to sleep in the corner on a narrow wooden plank, just 11 inches wide and 3 feet long, with no mattress or blanket. Giovanni wasn't allowed to move, look out the window, or even leave the corner for basic needs without facing further punishment. While Elena went to work, Daniel was left in charge of the children, including Giovanni and his younger brother. Rather than ensuring their safety, Daniel reportedly encouraged dangerous behavior, allowing the children to handle a gun and ammunition. Disturbing photos showed the children pointing the gun at each other while Daniel looked on. In one chilling image, the laser scope illuminated a child's raised hand. Daniel's violent tendencies weren't limited to encouraging reckless play. Giovanni's younger brother claimed Daniel had shot him in the leg with a BB gun and also targeted Giovanni. Police later found holes in the walls of the corner, with BBs still embedded in them, supporting these allegations. On July 26th, Giovanni committed the offense of looking out the window. Daniel reportedly responded by stapling Giovanni's shirt to the wall with a staple gun, pinning the boy's shoulders in place and forcing his face into the corner. He texted Elena a photo of Giovanni stapled to the wall, apparently amused by the scene. The following day, Daniel allegedly punched Giovanni in the stomach 3 times, causing the boy to vomit. Over the next 3 days, Giovanni's condition deteriorated. Elena later admitted to police that she knew he needed medical attention but avoided taking him to the hospital, fearing that doctors would see his injuries and report them. On July 30th at around 2:30 p.m., Elena finally called 911 when Giovanni stopped breathing. Paramedics arrived at the home to find him unresponsive, covered in cuts and bruises. They managed to restart his breathing and rushed him to the hospital, but his injuries were too severe. Giovanni was transferred to the Children's Hospital of Michigan's Stilson Specialty Center, where his stepfather Esteban came to see him. Esteban described Giovanni as unrecognizable, with a swollen head and bruised, disfigured face. Giovanni clung to life for several hours, but around midnight on July 31st, he succumbed to his injuries. Esteban later wrote a heart-wrenching post online. "My heart is completely shattered right now. There are no words to describe the pain of losing a child. My son died in my arms last night. His mom and her new boyfriend beat my 6-year-old son to death. My heart is broken into a million pieces. How can someone do that to a child, especially his own mother? I hope you rot in hell." When questioned by police, Elena claimed she had left Giovanni with a babysitter that day and suggested this person must have harmed him. Daniel echoed her story, denying any responsibility. However, the evidence told a different, tragic story of systematic abuse and neglect that ultimately led to Giovanni's death. Initial reports suggested that Giovanni's biological father was being implicated in the abuse, but no names were released to the public. Investigators soon cleared him of any involvement after uncovering evidence that he had not been near Giovanni at the time of the injuries. Instead, Giovanni's younger brother provided critical information during an interview at Care House, a child advocacy center specializing in forensic interviews and therapy for victims of abuse. The 4-year-old told his interviewer, "Chulo died all day and Danny was there," shedding light on what really happened. With this new evidence, police cleared the first suspect and turned their attention to Giovanni's mother, Elena Jennings, and her boyfriend, Daniel. It became clear that the couple had conspired to mislead authorities. Both were arrested and charged with lying to police, a felony that carries a potential 2-year prison sentence. Daniel was also charged with felony possession of firearms and ammunition, as his previous convictions barred him from owning weapons. Under questioning, Elena admitted that she had witnessed Daniel punch Giovanni in the stomach 3 days before his death. This violent act caused a perforation in Giovanni's bowel, allowing intestinal contents to leak into his body and triggering a massive, fatal infection. Medical intervention might have saved his life, but Elena chose not to seek help, fearing that the boy's injuries would expose the abuse. Oakland County prosecutor Karen McDonald announced that the case against Elena and Daniel was one of the most horrifying her office had ever handled. After a painstaking review of digital evidence, including photos, videos, text messages, and social media chats, prosecutors discovered a chilling pattern of abuse. Both Elena and Daniel had allegedly watched video clips of Giovanni's confinement in the corner and even laughed at images of the boy being stapled to the wall by his clothing. McDonald stated that the evidence showed Elena not only allowed the abuse, but at times encouraged it. On August 9, 2024, Elena and Daniel were charged with first-degree murder and first-degree child abuse, both of which carry potential life sentences. They were denied bail and remain in custody at the Oakland County Jail. At a press conference, McDonald outlined the harrowing details of the case. Giovanni, affectionately known as Chulo, endured prolonged abuse in a makeshift pen in the couple's bedroom. He was frequently beaten, denied food, and forced to sleep on a narrow wooden plank. The physical and emotional torment he suffered was evident in the forensic evidence. An autopsy revealed that Giovanni was malnourished, significantly underweight, and covered in bruises and cuts. His abdomen was swollen and distended from the internal injuries that ultimately caused his death. The medical examiner documented injuries to Giovanni's scalp, face, lips, shoulders, back, thighs, and legs, as well as a BB gun wound on his shin. These findings painted a horrifying picture of the systematic abuse he endured. Prosecutor McDonald described the case as one of the worst her team had encountered, emphasizing that Giovanni's death was not quick, but a slow and agonizing process. Prosecutor Karen McDonald emphasized the importance of safeguarding children during her statements about the tragic death of 6-year-old Giovanni Chulo Jennings. "All children have the right to grow up in a home free of fear," she stated. "This child and his siblings suffered unimaginably and lived in fear every day." She pledged that her office and the Madison Heights Police Department would use every available resource to seek justice for Giovanni and hold those responsible for his death accountable. When asked how the public could help prevent such tragedies, McDonald urged vigilance and action. "We need to keep track of our children, especially those in public schools, and inquire if they are suddenly withdrawn. Whether you're a neighbor, teacher, coach, or just someone in line at the grocery store, if something concerns you, report it to Child Protective Services or the police." Elena's defense attorney released a statement urging the public to remember her client's presumption of innocence until proven guilty. He expressed sympathy for those affected by the tragedy, but refrained from commenting further, citing the ongoing investigation. The case has left the small community in the ACL Mobile Home Park shocked and heartbroken. Neighbor Jolene Zidlowski recounted how Daniel's grandmother Ann once confided in her about a severe beating Giovanni endured. "She told me Elena had paddled him after he got out of the shower. I was devastated. It was heartbreaking. You could see the welts all over his arms, legs, and buttocks." The tragedy has yet to prompt public memorials or vigils. David has not made a public statement but may deliver an impact statement at the trial. A private service for Giovanni was held on August 14, 2024. Giovanni's stepfather, Esteban Cabrera, remains devastated by the loss. He recounted how, after his separation from Elena, she frequently denied him access to the children, including his biological daughter. When he did see them, he suspected something was wrong and contacted Child Protective Services months before Giovanni's death, reporting medical neglect and abuse. They took no action. Esteban now has custody of his daughter and is committed to ensuring Giovanni's younger brother remains connected to his family. However, legal complications have placed the boy in foster care temporarily. On August 1st, Esteban posted an update online. "I appreciate all the support from each and every one of you. This has been completely devastating. I now have custody of my biological daughter, but due to my legal status in the U.S., Giovanni's brother has been placed in foster care. His uncle is working with CPS to bring him into his care, but for now, he is not with me. He will still have visitations with his sister twice a week. I'm also working on setting up a GoFundMe to help with funeral expenses. Unfortunately, his mother still has legal rights over his body, and I may not be able to have a ceremony with his ashes. His body is still undergoing examination due to the extreme nature of this case. Thank you for your continued support." Though a GoFundMe campaign had not been posted as of this writing, community members expressed eagerness to contribute once available. Meanwhile, Giovanni's grandmother shared her grief on his tribute page. "Hello, I'm the grandma of Chulo, whom he called Mimi. I'm at a loss for words. I've been through everything with you since birth. Rest in peace, my precious grandson. You will be forever in my heart. I love you. I know you're in heaven now. Until I see you again, love, Mimi. The heartbreak surrounding Giovanni's death has rippled through his family and community, leaving loved ones searching for ways to grieve while fighting for justice for a little boy whose life was cut tragically short. Thanks for tuning in to Unreal True Crime. If you're intrigued by mysteries from around the world, check out our new channel, Latin Crimes, where we dive into the gripping true crime stories of Latin America. Don't miss out. Subscribe now for more thrilling investigations.